Hey guys, welcome to the third episode in my Borderlands 2 skill tree walkthrough. This episode we're going to be doing Salvador the Gunzerker. I've noticed that my episodes lately have been fairly long, so I'm definitely going to try and shorten this video down. So let's get right into it. So at level 5 you're going to unlock his action skill, which is called Gunzerkering. You draw a second gun and go nuts. While Gunzerkering, you instantly regen 50% of your total health and gain damage reduction against enemies, and constantly regenerate health and ammo. Does not regen rockets. And the cooldown is 42 seconds. That's a very long cooldown. I think it's either the longest or the second longest compared to Axton the Commando, who his turret I think is around the same amount of time, but I'm not sure. So we unlock that skill at level 5, and then you can go into the 3 skill types, which is Gun Lust, Rampage, and Brawn. I'll go over which one I'll choose after I go through all the skills. For the first tier and the first skill is Locked and Loaded. Reloading your guns gives you a short fire rate bonus for a short time. 5%, it's useful, but not my first choice. Quick Draw increases your weapon swap speed and critical hit damage with all gun types. 7% swap speed and 2% critical hit damage. That's fairly useful, especially at level 5, so I would, yes, recommend this skill. For Inconceivable, your shots have a chance to not consume ammo. The lower your health and shields, the greater the chance of free ammo. That's very useful, except for the fact that you have to have low shields and no health, and it'll be up to a 50% chance, so you're not necessarily going to regen ammo as much as you might think. And now this is definitely the best skill for the first tier, Filled to the Brim. Increases your weapon magazine size with all weapons, also increases your ammo carrying capacity. 5% magazine size and 3% carrying capacity. That's definitely the best first tier class, and I would definitely recommend this skill for sure. For Hard to Kill, increases your maximum health and gives you a small amount of health regen. 4% maximum health and 0.1% of your maximum health per second. It's not as useful as it sounds. You're only going to be getting 20% additional maximum health and 0.5% of your maximum health per second. No, it's not my first choice. For this skill, taking damage from enemies increases your movement speed and reload speed for a few seconds. That's fairly useful, especially if you are going to be using your Gunzerkering skill. I'm not sure if it necessarily works during your Gunzerkering skill, but even if you're not using it and you're waiting for the cooldown, this is very helpful to still be useful in a fight. For the second tier, I'm Your Huckleberry, that's a strange name, increases damage and reload speed with pistols. 3% damage, 3% reload speed. That's actually a fairly useful skill, but again, it's only for pistols, and pistols start becoming less and less useful as the game goes on, unless you could really find useful guns. So that's not necessarily a recommended skill. All you need is one. Swapping weapons causes you next shot to deal bonus damage. That's going to be very, very useful, especially if you're using something like a sniper and a pistol, that you're going to have to be switching back and forth because you're going to be going from close to long range. You're going to get that additional switching, and it's definitely going to help out a lot. For All in the Reflexes, increases your reload speed and melee damage. 5% reload speed and 4% melee damage. That's fairly good for the reload speed, but the melee damage is only 20%, so it's okay. It is good, but it is not the best. Last Longer, increases your Gunzerkering duration by 3 seconds each tier, and that's fairly useful. It's going to be 15 seconds overall, and that's a long time for a skill, especially for this skill, because it is going to be very, very useful. So I definitely recommend this skill. For Asbestos, reduces the duration of status effects on you, such as being on fire, corroded, electrocuted, flags, etc. So your negative stats duration minus 8% each level. That's fairly useful, especially in boss fights, because they often have these special weapons that do corrosive damage, or so on and so on and so forth. So that's going to be a fairly useful perk. And for the last skill in this tier, I'm the Juggernaut. Kill skill. Killing an enemy reduces all damage you take for a few seconds. 4% damage reduction. That's fairly good, especially if you're using something like a shotgun that you have a small clip, or it's single shot. I'm not sure if they're going to have those in Borderlands 2. But if you kill an enemy, you're going to be able to reload and have that damage reduction while reloading, so it's definitely going to help. So now we're getting into these tier 3. Divergent likeness. When gunzerkering with two guns of the same type, you deal bonus damage. When gunzerkering with two of the different type of guns, you gain bonus accuracy. So 6% gun damage or 6% accuracy, depends if you have either the similar or different. That's fairly useful. It's definitely better when I look at it now, but it's good. It's all I'm gonna say. It's good. It's good. For auto load, killing the enemy instantly reloads all of your guns that you have equipped that are not currently in your hands. Swapping guns after the auto reload has reloaded a gun triggers locked and loaded, which is the skill up here, which gives you bonus fire rate. So if you're going for gun lust, those as a combination is definitely going to be very, very helpful. Oh, sorry, those. And for money shot, the last round fired from your magazine deals massive bonus damage. Guns with small magazines receive a smaller bonus. This skill works with all weapon types. So you have to have a meg of 10 shots or more. But if you have less, it'll just do less bonus damage, and you get 80% damage per shot. And that's definitely going to be very helpful, especially if you have a gun that shoots 2 bullets at a time and it has a small clip. You're going to be going through clip and clip and clip, and you're going to want those bullets to do as much damage as possible, so this is definitely going to help. For I'm Ready Already, increases your cooldown rate of the gunzerkering ability. 5% cooldown rate. That's very useful, especially because this is the tier that I'm going to suggest, so that's definitely a good skill. For Steady As She Goes, reduces recoil with both guns while gunzerkering. Additionally, each shot that hits an enemy has a chance to improve your accuracy with both guns. So if 80% recoil reduction and chance to improve accuracy is 30%. That's very, very useful, especially that recoil reduction, because you're not going to be able to aim down the sights, so you're going to have big crosshairs, and that's definitely going to help you keep on target. 5 shots or 6. It's a kill skill. Killing an enemy causes every shot fired to have a chance to add additional ammunition to the magazine instead of expanding ammunition. So the chance to add bullets is 5%. That's 25%. So after a kill, you have a 25% chance of the bullet being added to your total ammo rather than subtracted. That's good, but again, it's only 25%, and it's after a kill, so it's not necessarily as useful as you might think. Ain't Got Time to Bleed. While gunzerkering, you regenerate health. The lower your current health, the most powerful regeneration. So regenerate up to 0.8% of your maximum health per second. That's definitely very useful, especially if you're specializing in gunzerkering, and that's going to help. Fistful of Hurt. Melee Overdrive. Throw all of your weight into a punch, causing massive damage and knocking back the enemy. Fistful of Hurt has a cooldown. While Fistful of Hurt is on cooldown, melee will perform a regular melee attack. I don't quite understand that, but it's basically another skill which is called Melee Overdrive, which causes you to punch and do massive damage and knock back enemies with a 15-second cooldown. So that's going to be pretty useful. Out of Bubblegum increases your fire rate with gun types while your shields are depleted. 7% fire rate. That's pretty useful. It's definitely going to help you stay in the fight. So yes, I would suggest that skill, no doubt. Lay Waste. It's a kill skill. Killing an enemy gives you increased fire rate and critical hit damage with all guns for a short time. So 8% fire rate and 5% gun critical hit damage. That's fairly useful, especially because it adds quite a bit to your fire rate and quite a bit to your critical hit damage. So if you're really racking in those headshots, that'll definitely be helping a lot. Down, Not Out. Well, you can gunzerk while in fight for your life. That right there is definitely a very, very useful perk. No doubt. I would highly suggest this perk, yes. Yippee-ki-yay. Killing an enemy while gunzerking increases the amount of time you can gunzerk. So you get an additional 0.6 seconds per level. Don't forget you can put 5 into this. So that's definitely going to help quite a bit, especially if you're really going on a serious rampage. It's definitely going to help just clear those enemies out extremely fast. Double your fun. Throwing a grenade while in gunzerkering causes you to throw 2 grenades. The second grenade does not cost ammo. That's very, very useful, especially if you like your grenades and you like gunzerkering. That's just the best of both worlds, isn't it? So bust that can't slow down. Increases your movement speed while gunzerkering. 10% movement speed per level. That's pretty straightforward. It's going to be a very useful perk, especially if you're using the brawn skill set here. So just got real. Increases the damage you deal with all gun types. The lower your health, the greater the damage bonus. So 8% gun damage each level. That's definitely going to add up if you put 5 into this skill. So now we're going to get into this these tier 5 perks. Keep it popping hot. Pipping hot, sorry. While gunzerkering is in the process of cooling down, you gain bonus gun damage, melee damage, and grenade damage. That's very, very useful. Wow. I mean, wow. I just reading this over now, I must have skipped this skill before, because that's definitely one of the best perks that he has. Forget some. Shooting an enemy decreases the cooldown of gunzerkering. This effect... Oh, wait a second. I messed up somehow. Hey guys, sorry about that. I got a little confused. I thought I repeated a perk, but in fact they are different perks. This one was a different one than the skill I was just on here, so forget some. It is what I just said, and it is different, so it'll reduce the cooldown of gunzerkering by 3 seconds. For some reason I thought it was the same as this. I paused the recording, looked it over, and it was not. Oh, that is a great name. Sexual Tyrannosaurus. Taking damage gives you health regeneration for 5 seconds. This effect does not stack multiple times. 0.4% of your maximum health per second. I think people are going to choose this just because of the name. Imagine maxing out on Sexual Tyrannosaurus. That just sounds great. Okay, now moving on. No kill like overkill. When you kill an enemy, you gain a bonus to gun damage equal to the amount of excessive damage you dealt to the last enemy you just killed. That's pretty useful. So basically, if you kill an enemy and he only has 5 health left, the damage is going to be transferred to the next bullet that you shoot for the extra damage that you should have done. That's very useful. Definitely going to be very, very useful. For keep firing. While gunzerkering, the longer you hold down the trigger, the faster your guns fire, and the faster you reload. 88% fire rate and 25% reload speed. That's definitely going to be very helpful, especially if you have fully automatic guns. It's going to just make you be able to stay in the fight and definitely use your gunzerkering time to your advantage. And for come at me, bro. Man, I love these bro just by their name. Action skill argument. While gunzerkering, taunt your enemies and instantly gain full health. Taunted enemies are more likely to attack you, but for the next few seconds you gain massive damage reduction. That's definitely going to be very helpful because as they are going to be shooting at you anyways, presumably you're doing single player. This might not be the best for multiplayer because suddenly everyone's shooting at you, but for single player you're going to get full health as well as the damage reduction, so you're not going to take as much necessarily as you'll lose as everyone's shooting at you. So that's pretty helpful. So I'm not going to go over which skills I would choose if I didn't kind of give it away right off the bat. Filled to the brim increases your magazine size with all weapon types and your ammo carrying capacity. Right off the bat, I'm going to put 5 into that, no question. And now for these two, all in the reflexes or last longer. I'm definitely going to choose last longer. You're going to get an additional 15 seconds into your gunzerkering duration. That's going to be very, very helpful. Now for this, I'm definitely going to go steady as she goes because it is the best skill, but you can only put 1 in. And then I'm going to put... Oops. Now I'm going to put 4 into I'm ready already. It's just... There's my phone going off. I'll just let that ring. I'm going to put 4 into there. Actually, I'm going to quickly hit that. One sec, guys. Man, today's video is all about distraction. First I messed up, and now my phone's ringing. Next thing you know, my door's going to be ringing, and all hell's going to be breaking loose. So to continue, double your fun. I'm definitely going to choose that. There's no question about it. It's when you your gunzerkering and you throw 1 grenade, it actually throws 2, but the second one doesn't cost any. And for yippee-ki-yay, I'm definitely going to put 4 into there. So that's going to help. 2.4 seconds per kill while you're gunzerkering, so you get an additional 2.4 seconds. If there's a bunch of enemies that go down quickly, you're going to be able to stay gunzerkering the whole time. That's not going to be a problem whatsoever. Whew, get some. I definitely want to get some of this. What a cheesy joke, right? And okay, keep firing while gunzerkering. The longer you hold down the trigger, the faster your guns fire and the faster you reload. So I'm just going to put one into there. And now I'm level 31, as you normally are after you've maxed out one skill. One thing that I've noticed is that I have got a couple messages saying that what happens if you don't want to max out a skill. Well, again, guys, this is just what I want, not necessarily what you have to do. I'm not telling you, I'm just saying this is definitely one of the better skill sets that I would say. But if you want to disagree, that's fine. Now for these next 19 points, it's all up to you. I'm not going to go through that because that's just going to be a waste of time. So thanks for watching, guys. If you liked it, please remember to comment, like it, and if you really liked it a lot, subscribe and favorite it, and share it. Do whatever you can to help my channel grow bigger. Borderlands 2 does come out tomorrow, and I am getting it. I pre-ordered it. Unfortunately, I can't go to the midnight release because I do have school tomorrow, but I will be playing it all day, and if you'd like some videos on that, just comment and say so, and I will put some out. So thanks for listening, guys. Bye.